This was originally a presentation I put together for a virtual expo on virtual world building. However, I took the concept of world building literally to apply to our real physical 3D world. This is the first of 3 short presentations I prepared. This one is about place and belonging in a hyper-digital world. To start, I'd like to explore what is the meaning of place. My background was originally in landscape architecture, and I'm also certified as a forest therapy guide. So my interest in place and placemaking starts from the physical dimension. But I'm also interested in the idea of virtual worlds from a psychological and spiritual perspective. For example, the worlds built through technology or literature. So I think the topic of place is interesting because of this juxtaposition. So my first question is, does place have to be physical? If so, in an increasing world of artificial intelligence, digital interactions, and physical social isolation, does place still matter? But since we spend so much time online, can the internet be a place? Are we in a place right now together? Certainly, a lot of adventures can be found on the internet. We can meet a lot of people and have great or terrible discussions. We can be so engrossed in our interactions at an experiential level that we can feel nurtured or enlivened by these interactions. But when we zoom out and look at ourselves as flesh and material, we are just sitting in our rooms staring into a glowing panel. Where is place now? Is place in the ether of the internet that bonds our interactions? Or is it the physical rooms that we are each sitting in that make these interactions possible? According to philosopher Edward Casey, place is relative to the body. The body is the center of place in the permanent position of here. Everywhere else is relational to this point. Beneath, behind, in front, to the right, to the left, and over there. But the internet throws all this relational business off. You are here at home at the right place when the web page on your browser says so. You are somewhere else when you click your mouse on a link to elsewhere. So you are here in your body, but also somewhere else. This is a paradox that I'm not sure even any amount of philosophy can resolve. But let's go back to the idea of place, because for me, place is related to belonging. The definition of place I usually come back to is that it is either a physical or emotional environment where a person or community feels belonging and connectedness. Place also gives me a grounded feeling. In a place, I know without doubt that I exist and I can feel secure about it. I'm not floating in space. So I belong in the most primal sense. This belonging to the earth and to my own existence comes before any other connection. So while we can feel a certain kind of belonging in virtual communities, we cannot feel grounded through our interactions unless we are in tune with our bodies. That is because to feel like we have a reason to exist physically and not just as avatars, we need both physical and soul purposes. How our souls communicate with our bodies is through emotions and intuitive gut reactions. The quality of this communication is then reflected back into our lives through our minds, thoughts, and our language. I believe that is the reason the misuse of technology can lead to psychological effects, because technology can often lead us to neglect our bodies. We've all heard or read of how social media dependency is negatively affecting young people. Here's a list of symptoms I found on the psychological and physical effects of technology overuse. Ironically, I got this from using the internet. The symptoms are negative body image and self-worth, mood swings such as irritability, fear, and disgust, sleep disorders, difficulty concentrating and making decisions, information overload and overstimulation, reduced social skills, emotional intelligence and empathy, divisiveness, and addiction, depression, and anxiety. As I just mentioned, emotions and intuitive gut reactions are the ways our physical and spiritual purposes communicate. And if young and not so young people are neglecting their bodies, having difficulty processing information, and are challenged with communicating authentically with empathy, then neither place nor belonging can be formed. No matter how hyper-digital we become, we are still natural beings. Without the purpose to exist physically, our body, mind, and spirit will decay. So at a core level, places are the environments we create to help each other feel belonging, feel secure in our bodies, and feel inspired to live our purpose. So to survive as a species in an increasingly hyperdigital world, we need to intentionally create these opportunities, both virtually and physically, where we can feel. First, to feel safe to release repressed emotions of pain. Second, to feel motivated to nurture emotions of hope. And third, to feel secure in trusting our intuitive voice.